Hey everyone, welcome to day 12 of our daily stream of the Indian Dream. What we are doing is we're doing 30 days of daily streaming about various business stories of amazing entrepreneurs, or we're doing different business skills that you can learn. So we've done episodes about how to cold email. We've done many different kinds of episodes. Yesterday we did an episode of the history of Naturals ice cream. So do check it out. Do check the channel out and subscribe. And once you're done with this video, please like the video as well. Today's episode is going to be about Jiru. Jiru is that amazing Jeera masala cola drink, I guess you can call it that, which you can find at railway stations. You can find it everywhere. Earlier, it used to be just in Bombay. It used to just be on the Western railways. But now I think you find Jiru across India. If you haven't, please give it a try. It is a really nice, fizzy drink that will really get you excited. Okay, so we're talking about Jiru, and there are some amazing lessons to be learned from the story of Jiru because Mr. Rajiv Sehgal, who started Jeeru, he spent more than a decade trying really, really hard to make this brand successful. And it was his daughter who really helped and who helped scale up Jeeru to the place that it is today. Okay, Siddharth, why don't you start us off? Tell us about Mr. Rajiv Sehgal's story and how him and his daughter Ankita built this amazing brand.
Yeah, it's extremely important to understand what happened prior to Jiru to really understand where the lessons come from. So, Rajiv Sehgal, one of his goals since he was a child was to build a consumer brand. He was fascinated by the idea of building a brand. And he, started like any other individual, started at a corporate job, did sales and marketing, then got into his own sort of business, which was more around trading because he didn't really have the capital to set up a large business. So he distributed Luxor and Pilot pens. If you're familiar, 90s kids, you'll know Luxor and Pilot pens. And then he, in 1998, launched his first manufacturing business called the MacBlue drinking water. Now, Sahil, tell us what the MacBlue drinking water was.
MacBlue, it was just a drinking water. Nothing new. It was nothing different. It was just like any other drinking water. Think about Bisleri, think about Kinley. There was no differentiation, right? And therefore, while MacBlue did sell, it was not a runaway success. It was a consumer brand. In order to be successful, has to be a runaway success. And that was not MacBlue because there was way too much competition. So what he did in order to survive, he diversified and he took up contract manufacturing for other brands. So he did contract manufacturing for Bisleri. He did contract manufacturing for Orangina, which was a Schweppes brand product. And he kept going at trying to make sure that his brand continues. In 2004, he started researching new products. And in 2007, he launched exotic fruit juice. This is where it gets really exciting. He launched exotic fruit juice and he had done so much research about different products that he can launch in this vertical of water and flavored water and all of that. And he had 34 different products under exotic fruit juice. It was crazy how many products he launched at the same time. Siddharth, what happened to exotic fruit juice? How did exotic fruit juice become Jiru, what Jiru is today?
Yeah, so 34 different products, and for a year or two, I think everything looked fine. Sales were increasing. They were, reaching out to multiple different regions, geographies. The brand was going places. But he realized something. He realized that his resources, working capital, staff, all of those were running thin, just basically managing this complex business problem that he had created, right? Think about it. 34 different products, maybe tens and 12s of locations, what product needs to go where, you have to give credit, all of those different things. And he took one of the boldest decisions you can take as a businessman when things are looking decent. He decided to actually stop all the other products except one, right? 34 brands overnight, go to one brand, stopped all the locations. He was in Gujarat by then. He was in parts of Maharashtra. He said no more, just Bombay. One product, one city, and we're going to get this right. Now, what was this product? It's important to understand this product, right? Jeera masala is a drink that's been served on the Indian street foods or street vendors for ages. It aids digestion and stuff like that. So it's been there, but it's been in the unorganized sector. The problem with the unorganized sector is you're not sure about the hygiene quality, the water, and all of those things. And that's where he said, forget all these strawberries and apples and whatnot. Let me just launch a very hygienic Jeera masala brand. And he did this with apple soda, I think, and he mixed it and created a product, and he launched Jiru. One product, one city. What happened after that?
So I just want to take one step back. There were competitors to Jiru as well. Parle had launched a brand that was a Jeera masala drink. There were other few big players that had also launched a Jeera masala brand, but they discontinued it. They did not continue it because whatever, they didn't see a market in it.
This was also this was I think 5 or 10 years before Jiru launched.
Yeah, it was 5-10 years before. And so what Mr. Rajiv saw was that all of these Jeera masala brands had gone, and there was an empty space in the market because Jeera masala is a very Indian flavor. Indians love that chatpata flavor that Jeera masala gives. And so he saw that empty space and he launched. And as soon as he launched, it was a big success, right? Because he was now focused on one product in one location, which was Bombay, and he made sure to get his distribution right across the entire city, across the entire region. So in 3 years, he was doing 10 crores of sales with that one product in the Bombay general retail market.
Okay. So general retail, for people who don't know, are the kirana shops or the small sort of grocery shops that you come across, not the large format big bazaars or anything. That's called modern retail. They entered that later. But general retail is what they focused on. And in 2011-12, another inflection point, Ankita, his eldest daughter, actually joined the business, right? She wasn't convinced about joining the family business. She was focused on journalism and stuff like that. And the salesman that Mr. Rajiv Sehgal is, he convinced his daughter that this is where the opportunity is. Come work for a few months. If you don't like it, go do something else.
And it was a small office at that time. There were barely 6 people, right? Imagine you come from a large journalist background and you come to this office, 6 people. It must have been very cramped, not very comfortable. And then when you're doing this kind of sales, right? General retail sales, you have to go to each and every kirana store, you have to sell it to them. You have to go every week, pick up your check. It's not a fun business to get into. And so when Ankita joined, she realized that she had to scale up Jiru across the country because she saw that this product is doing so well and that she had to change the way that the incentives for the team were in order for them to scale it up, really. What exactly was that incentive, do you think, that she came up with? Or that you know that she came up with?
Yeah. So I think, as you said, sales is all about putting the right incentives, right? And as a small team with limited resources, she didn't have crazy amount of money to throw at. But she created a daily incentive system, sort of gamified the entire thing, where salespeople were competing on who did the most amount of sales that particular day. And the prices were very unique, right? 5 kgs of rice, 10 kgs of oil, all these very sort of important things that people need in their household were given as gifts. And she could sort of buy these at wholesale prices. So, the resources going out of the company were not that high, but it kept the team motivated. I think that entire incentive piece, she talks about it in detail on the podcast. That was mind blowing for me to understand how to design incentives to really get things done.
So now, if you get to 15 days, I'll give you 5 kgs of rice.
Done. Sounds good.
Okay. If you get to 30
I want
days,
basmati. I want basmati.
Okay, I'll give it to you. If you get to 30 days, I'll give you one vaccine. I'll have to find it somewhere in Bombay and I'll send it to you in Indore.
Done. MP doesn't have any vaccines for 18 to 45-year-olds, so that'll be great.
Okay, fantastic. So Ankita, she implemented this system, and then she started going for modern trade. Modern trade, for those who don't know, is your big bazaars and your Reliance retail and all of that stuff, right? So that is where you really build volume. And she got into modern retail, and oh my God, Jiru was an instant success in modern retail. They were the top 3, I think, cola. Top 3 soft drinks.
Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and Jiru.
Yeah, in the first year. It was an instant success. This was a big bazaar, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
Siddharth. So very successful. They did really well in modern retail, and that gave them the impetus to keep expanding. They expanded across the entire Western railways. So a lot of people who might be listening, their first experience with Jiru might actually be at the Western Railway, where you stop, you get something to eat, you get something to drink, and let's have a Jiru. So that these sales strategies that were implemented by Ankita had a huge impact on the long-term success of Jiru. Now, if you look at where Jiru is now, the last time we had a conversation with Ankita and Mr. Rajiv Sehgal was, I think, in September of 2020 or maybe November. At that time, they were in 16 states across India. They were doing more than 70 crores of revenue per year. In the last 6 months, they must have expanded even more because I keep seeing random Jiru bottles on the road. So I'm sure they're doing really well. Jiru, the story of Jiru is all about one man and his drive to build a consumer brand, and then the transformation that his daughter brought. Right. So Mr. Rajiv, he brought the product. He brought a product that will work really well. He found some early product market fit, but it was once his daughter saw that product market fit, she just ran with it. She she destroyed on the sales side. She did a fantastic job.
And all of this was without external capital. So
Yeah.
they were patient, they bootstrapped it, and they've been profitable throughout. Not that they haven't gotten, inquiries from venture capitalists and private equity funds to invest in the company, but they're very interesting views on why they don't want that capital as of today. This might change in the future, but listen to him talk about it in the episode, and it'll be an eye opener on how people think about how businessmen
Yeah.
think about parting with equity.
In fact, I've said this before as well that Naturals ice cream that we spoke about yesterday and Jiru today, they are perfect candidates for a PE firm, for a private equity firm, because PE likes to invest in consumer brands and they like to invest in established profitable businesses. Naturals ice cream does about 150 crores with significant profits. Jiru does about 70, 100 crores probably with significant profit. This would be perfect because they are consumer brands that PE prefers consumer brands because they have so much loyalty with the customer. They would be perfect targets or for acquisition.
Yeah.
I can imagine a Coca-Cola just buying out Jiru for a 5x revenue multiple or something like that. So 500 crores in Mr. Rajiv's bank, not bad for a couple of decades of hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he definitely has long-term plans to build this, and very interesting thoughts on why he doesn't want this capital. We didn't speak to him about the exit, but check it out. Check out the entire episode on the podcast. The link to that will be in the description. And if you like these videos, like, share, subscribe, comment. Yes. Comment is important. Apparently, YouTube engagement goes up. So comment, but tell us, actually, genuinely tell us what can we do better, what kind of episodes you like. We've been doing these business stories, we've been doing side hustles, we've been doing trends. We do a lot of content around business and entrepreneurship. Tell us what you like so that we can do more of that.
Probably the first thing is to improve the quality of the videos.
Yeah.
Secondly, people will probably comment like, hey, get rid of these two idiots. Get something good looking.
Talk about yourself, man. Talk about yourself.
Okay. Nobody's watching this, so we can say what we want at the end. Okay. Thanks a lot for listening. And please like, comment, subscribe, everything.